Hey, what's going on, guys? Today is the 29th of October 2017. I'm going to be going over some trade ideas for this week. Got some interesting setups. A lot of them are actually pushing through the highs, which just makes me feel like they want to go higher. First one on the list is Cube CUBE. Strong volume into Friday session after a little bit of volatility on Thursday. And so with the chart pushing over the high on Cube, I expect for the chart to try to go a little bit higher. I think if we get a small pullback on this one down to $26.60, where it comes back and resets above the breakout pivot, it should be a fine area to take it on the long side. So Cube for even just for tomorrow should be an interesting trade. Number 2 on the list is GCAP. Small one, but it does have an explosive setup here, where the chart's breaking over the daily trend to the upside with one strong candle. So I'd like to see the chart retrace some of this move first. I'd ultimately like to see it come back down to the 200 SMA, sits about $6.88 for a retest of that breakout spot, also filling the entire gap in one candle. It's pretty strong, but I'd definitely like to see it come back and retest the $6.88 before taking it on the long. So on GCAP, looking for a pullback to that area in order to take the trade on the long side. Number 3 on the list is CSIQ. A solar name. FSLR had good earnings. Chart had an explosive move on Friday. I expect to see CSIQ catch some of that attention, and so I'm looking for a trade here on CSIQ into this week. I'm thinking if the chart pulls back a little bit, should be sufficient enough to get us an entry on this one. And if it pulls back down somewhere closer to about $16.65, should put you in an area on CSIQ where it makes a little bit of sense, as it pulls back into an area to reset and retest some of this breakout pivot. Should be a fine area on CSIQ to take it on the long side. Number 4 on the list is QRVO. 813 over the 50 EMA is a good enough signal to take something on the long with a pullback. If the chart pulls back to about $73 on QRVO, it's going to set up for a decent trade. If you look at the bigger play on QRVO, you'll see that it's actually a big wedge that's been consolidating for a while. Chart's making higher lows as the 200 SMA is really following the trend as it keeps moving up. So with the moving averages pointed to the upside and the wedge tightening up, I do expect to see a breakout on this QRVO. So it's a trade into this week, and if you can get that level to break out over here over the 75-30s area, chart's gonna have a big move to the upside. So keep this one on that trade-in radar for this week, and watch for that big breakout, because if it does get that big breakout, could be a nice move on the daily. Netflix been having some nice consecutive higher lows as the chart's trending to the upside, and I expect to see a little continuation off of this one also. The chart had a decent move from the 197 to the 200 level on Friday, and it already kind of pulled back down into the 198 retrace area during the day. So on Netflix, you can probably expect the chart to push right out of the gate coming into this week. And so I'd be looking for a long on Netflix. I'm going to play it long over Friday session high, and that's the way that I want to come about trading Netflix coming into this week. CARG, recent IPO, but the chart's starting to curl up. We got some volume into it on Friday during the early part of the session, and also towards the end of the session there was some buyers there also. So for CARG, I expect to see this low float IPO continue to move higher. For right now, if it breaks over Friday session high, that's your range to play the chart. I wouldn't necessarily jump into it in between there. I'd prefer to get a break over the high to get that momentum play on CARG and a bigger move to the upside. Number 7 on the list is SAGE, SAGE. Nice strong candle on Friday. Decent buyer right at the close. We have a nice little flag going on here. For right now, what the simplicity of this trade is that we have the trend being broken to the upside, with the trend being broken, so that could signal a decent reversal on the trend on the chart. A pullback on this one down to about $63.50 gives you the $62.50. No, if it comes back to retest, there's about 63.30, sorry. So $63.30 is about the area where the chart would need to come back and reset itself. It should then provide you with an opportunity to trade it. So all you have to do is set the alerts at those levels, and if they come into play, you bring the charts up and see if they're ready to be traded then. BZUN having a decent hold at this trend line. This trend line on BZUN is an uptrend that needs to be held, and the moving averages are moving up with it. I think BZUN has a good potential to hold off the level that it's at. Being that the chart is at the bottom, and you find people that end up finding the bottom, they end up selling a lot quicker. So on something like this, if the chart was to pop, it may end up just giving back some of it, but this area here on BZU1 right down to the $31 level is a place that you can look at to possibly hold the chart on the long side and see if you can ultimately get the break over this trend to the upside for a big add and a continuation play. So you would need the momentum. We have a little bit of volume that came into it on Friday. There are a lot of people interested in this chart. It just needs to get that upside reversal. So wait for that upside reversal to come into play a little bit more. Preferably, I'd like it to be back over the 50 EMA before I take a position on any sort of a swing trade. But for right now, I can definitely day trade it. We have earnings coming up in a few days. Earnings is actually on the 14th. And so before that, we can probably have this chart with a nice move into earnings. So it can be one of those trades that you look at for a swing trade into the earnings. Number 9 on the list is CCL, coming up to a tight little breakout spot on the daily. And into this area is definitely something that you just set an alert for and wait for the chart to do its thing. For right now though, if we were to day trade it only, we already had a nice strong candle on Friday. The chart did retrace some of that move already, and right at the $67 level is where I think we can find some support. There are some pivot points on the chart that serves 67 as a justifiable range to go long. We can see that there was support here before, rejection, some support, and again here. So $67 on this chart on CCL becomes an area of interest. So if the chart stays at $67 on the pullback come tomorrow, it might be something that you want to take a look at. Number 10 on the list is AKAO. I've been waiting for this chart to kind of find a bottom, and if this is the bottom, then we can play off of it. For right now, we can try to see if the chart wants to hold. At least there presents an opportunity for you to trade it, not necessarily for you to hold it and claim this as the bottom, but you can trade it off of that as a day trader. As a swing trader, position trader, trend trader, the position is relatively to the downside. So you don't want to necessarily say, well, hey, I need to be long here. You want to just say that, hey, I want to just kind of hold the chart into this area for right now and see if there's a potential play on it. Other than that, for right now on AKO, we're left with a nice bullish engulfing on the daily. And off of the bullish engulfing, we'd expect to see some pullback on it. I think a justifiable pullback on AKO would come closer down to that $13 level. So if I had to play this tomorrow, I'd be looking for the chart to come back and retest some of these areas on the daily, and that would leave me at about a $13 entry on AKO, risking down to the lows. If the chart then breaks over Friday's session high over $13.73, I'd be more inclined to see a reversal on the daily and then keep some of it for the potential reversal trade. So for right now, it's a day trade, leaving into the idea that you could possibly have a reversal on the bigger trend, but it's not set in stone. So don't go about holding it or swinging it off this level just because of that one bullish engulfing at the bottom, but more so day trade it into a position where, hey, if it was to start working, you could actually hold the chart. So those are the 10 for this week that I'm interested in. If you do follow me on Twitter, I do post a lot of charts there at Iceman Trading. And if you are interested in day trading with me on a regular basis, check out the website icemantradingacademy.com. There you'll find links to pretty much everything that we do. Charts, updates, webinars, everything's are on there. Everything that you would need. Thank you guys. Have a great week.